The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome to another exciting edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, and squeezably soft host. Once more into the breach do we go, dear friends. So what do we have happening? Well, I'm in the TFNN World Headquarters today because, I didn't have any power. Got power now, no internet. But all of us that live down here in the shiny Sunshine State saw a little rain this weekend. But I think since I got power this morning back, I'm just looking for some internet. Anybody got some internet? Anyway, they've got plenty of internet here at the world headquarters of TFNN, so no real problem. So we'll just go through what's happening. Of course, right now I'm watching the live blog from Dieter Bourne. He's I think he's the go-to guy now for finding out what's at least what the tech community thinks. You can always check him out on theverge.com. But he's probably got the best reviews of smartphones these days. And I'm watching that roll out in his comments about what happens. So it's kind of an interesting day in that we're going to see the market kind of bounce up and down a little bit. As we start off the show, we're up 6 points at 24.94. And maybe a little change above that. Volume is just under 2 billion shares on the NYSE. My models and most of my work say that we have just a little higher and possibly a lot lower if this does not come out the way that they think. A lot of hyperbole for the show so far, and that generally connotes in these things. Probably a better way to think about it, I'll just put it this way, is a friend of mine has a theory, and that is that if you're a great musician, you don't have to wear 100 scarves. You don't have all the affectations of being a musician. You don't have, you may be lean that way, but you don't do everything in the world to act like a diva. If you've got the goods, you don't have to. And so far, a little heavy on the hyperbole for this. Of course, they showed a new smartwatch that had LTE in it. So theoretically, yet another bill to the cable, or not to the cable, to the internet service providers across the cellular networks. But not that much. I'm watching the blog and waiting for at least a little bit what they're talking about. They've talking about evolutionary means of a better camera. For the last year, you have to probably say that the Samsung phone had a much better camera than the iPhone did. So the question is it good or better than the Samsung? Again, hard to tell. They're talking about some new custom chips where they're doing their own custom compression techniques that are supposed to make the images look a little better. But again, evolutionary or revolutionary, and for Apple to go higher, you've got to have something that kind of ticks in as revolutionary, not evolutionary. So we'll see how this goes. But for the most part, we're up 5-6 points, and volume's fairly decent. But like I said, we're just a hair under 2 billion shares on the NYSE. We're probably going to need somewhere about 5 billion shares to break out of this trading range that we've been in. We go a little higher and then fail, go a little higher and fail. Each time the volume has been okay, but it's never been the kind of energy that would say escape velocity has been achieved. So we'll look at that. We'll look at Apple. We'll look at some other stuff. But as always, we like to start the day off with a little bit of history.
Then it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
Sorry, no charts for this today because we don't have PowerPoint on this PC in the studio. Maybe we'll get that fixed. But anyway, on this day in 2002, if you remember and you were in the markets, you would have remembered that Tyco International, including the CEO, the CFO, are all indicted in New York on charges they stole hundreds of millions of dollars from the company. And of course, most famously, Dennis Kolowski paid 10 grand for a stand for an umbrella stand, that's what it was, and some artwork, and wrote it all off to the company. Later, they were convicted, given lengthy prison sentences that were reduced and became symbolic for the era of corporate corruption and greed, only to be exceeded shortly by the CEOs and CFOs of Enron. But nothing much changes. Anyway, as we said, we'll talk about more stuff. But let's start getting into charts and seeing how they reacted. Since you weren't able to hear my dulcet tones yesterday, and I'll always be looking out one side of my eye here at the live blog, so we'll talk about how that affects the actual market. 2493.66, and still just a hair under 2 billion shares. So let's go ahead and look and start at the chart for Apple. And this did break out. It broke out with lighter volume. If you go back to, let's see, is that it? Or is it W? There it is. If you go back to September 1st, we had 16.5 million shares. That broke through this first big high of August 8th, 36.2 million shares. So you did get above it. You had half the volume. It came back into the trading range. We kind of opened higher. It kind of sold off a little bit. It's kind of come back here into this 63-ish range. Is that what we're going to call it? Hang on a second here. Yeah, 62.84. So not a lot happening in that. Now, you have a big gap starting back here on the 2nd of August. That fairly large gap could get filled, but the question is, does Apple go higher without anything revolutionary today? If it all continues to be evolutionary with an E, not an R, that's probably everything you're looking at. So we see it close back here at 160. You could see this gap filled fairly quickly back down to the low 150s. We talked about this with Tom O'Brien on his show on Friday, before the hurricane and after the hurricane. That's BH and AH, is the way it's probably going to be known down here in Tampa. After the hurricane and before the hurricane. Anyway, we had a little pop, but I was saying that there's a couple of problems that Apple has, and it's not so much the product, but it's the management, and that is, oh, are we going to break here? Okay. Oh, I am. I've got my clock up anyway. We'll be back in just a minute, and I don't know if there's anything else we can say about that. Can't reach me through email today, so give me a call at 877-927-6648.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
And they did do it. They did the, and one more thing, and they're showing the iPhone X now. So we'll watch the prices in there. And of course, when you have a stock that is 14 or 15% of the index and correlated to 30% of the stocks, or directly related to 30% of all the stocks in the NASDAQ 100, it is the tail that can wag the dog. So I know a lot of people probably thinking about all the other things we should be talking about, but guess what? It is what it is, and that is that Apple can move the entire market because of its market share. 163.34 is what we show in the last one. We'll see if there's anything. They did pick a standard, and I know a lot of people have been interested in this. This is what's known as the QI standard, and I think that's the ever-ready battery standard for wireless charging. Apparently, it's going to have that in it. But I don't see anything that really says anything other than a little better camera, maybe a little better display that's at least equal to Samsung's, and it should be because they're going to be making it. A little bit of waterproofing. I don't know if there's anything else really out here to talk about it. They're blowing about the future of the smartphone. But I think okay, here it is, their new Super Retina display, which is a fancy way of saying we bought this display that's just like the Samsung phone. So we'll look at it as it goes on. Let's start looking at some other stocks of interest. Again, you can give me a call at 877-927-6648, since you will not be able to email me today. Maybe we'll work that out tomorrow. Or maybe just be back in the White House tomorrow. Anyway, we've been watching this one kind of bounce off this 139.13 low. That's IBM. And you really haven't had any preparation. This may just be a dead cat bounce in this one. You certainly would want to be looking for 139.13, which is that August 21st low, to get retested. And, you know, I think as far as what they were pushing, which is Watson, I think that horse has left the barn already, or is that the cow that left the barn? And I think it's the horse. And you close the barn door? Yeah, maybe the cow. Cow or horse. I think machine learning has left the station. I'll mix another metaphor. And I don't think there's much else that you can say about it. They've got some other stuff that they're working on, but it doesn't look like Watson is going to be the huge saver they thought it was going to be. So let's take a look at some other stocks. I want to look at some industrials as we hang up here at the highs. 3M has gotten to fairly hard resistance. This did gap down on the 25th of July, did so with 6.6 million shares, got back up to it once on August 16th with 1.7 million shares, pulled back, did an ABC. It looked like it was trying to do an ABC, come back up here. Now, this one pierced the rest of that gap this morning and has come right back into it. So you're going to watch the volume on that. 820,000 shares so far, a little more than that. So, you're really talking about a lot of volume to chew through at 6.6 million shares for that July 25th slaughter. But that's kind of telling you that's probably about as good as you're going to get for a while. You've got a huge overhang that starts, June 9th, and ran through the day before it fell apart on August 24th. So you got about 1 month of trading at those highs before it fell apart. All those folks are going to be ones thinking, man, I get my opportunity, I'm going to sell, because I bought this one as a pig and a poke. So I got some people asking SWKS. Guess I can look in the Tiger's Den if I can find it here. Always getting used to it. Got a couple of questions. Okay. Okay. Verge. Somebody asking the question, Verge, V-E-R-G-E. Okay. Just seeing if I missed any questions here. I only have 2 screens. I got 4 screens at home. Man, you get used to 4 screens. Who can keep me down on the farm again? Okay, let's just take a quick look. Okay, how do you unlock without a touch phone? What's unlocking? Side button is large. Okay. Nothing I see out here that would change the thing. In fact, I think that when he said just one more thing, I think that was when Apple started selling off. 161.93 as we speak. Anyway, Skyworks Solutions is, of course, one of the big providers of chips for Apple. And you've got to watch. This one's probably the most effective and trades ahead of what Apple's actually doing. So you may want to watch this one as Apple may throw a few head fakes. This one generally has not. It's held above this 100 level for just a little while. And you got to think that Apple's still going to sell a lot of phones. The question comes back to margins. And I think one of the reasons you're going to not see Apple go that much higher is a lot of unanswered questions, and those are going to be answered over the next few days. So you're probably going to get some opportunities, especially intraday. But if you're trading Apple, I would look at SWKS also every time you look at Apple, because it's probably going to give you a little better heads up about what's actually going to happen. Not so many cult members in Skyworks Solutions are there as there are in Apple. And I'm going to say it's smarter money is one way to look at it. What else did we look at? Looked at IBM. Let's look at Intel. It has, I think, kind of turned the corner. We talked about this maybe the end of August. I think many at the end of August. I didn't say that it was absolutely the perfect time to long-term buy, but that I thought that in the next 30 or 60 days, that this thing was probably going to have the same kind of run that Microsoft had back in 2012 and 2013 when the new CEO came in. I think that there's a lot of the things that they're doing are as perfect as they can do. And I remember talking with the CEO of my company, who always said, you can chase your tail all you want, but at the end of the day, all you can really do is do everything you can correctly, and maybe a little luck comes your way. I think Intel has done everything they can correctly. The previous CEO was behind the curve, especially in mobile, but it's not uncommon for big companies not want to get back into lower margin products. We saw that, basically the reason that Steve Jobs got kicked out in the late 80s was that he wanted to basically change Macintosh and have people sell boxes, other companies sell boxes, and him just sell the operating system. And of course that meant that they were going to have lower margins, and he was out the door. So I can understand how CEOs are reticent to do that. Not a big deal with Intel. We'll talk more about this when we come back.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find the Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now. Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Directions Daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Good question in the den. We'll talk about this, and that's of course, the new iPhone has a camera that will unlock when it sees your face. Microsoft's had that in its laptops for about a year and a half. And the first versions actually had two different cameras, one with an infrared filter and one without. so that it could see your face and all the temperature changes in it. So you couldn't just hold a picture up and unlock the phone. You literally had to take a human face with its heat differential in the cheeks. And they even tried twins, I remember, back then, to see whether a twin could unlock the same laptop on Microsoft, and it couldn't. At least that's what Microsoft said. I still kind of like my passwords, although I know people are saying those are passé. But still like it, yeah. Yes, that is in the den. Is asking it could be linked to all apps for all passwords. And at least for all the Microsoft stuff, when you unlock the laptop, it does. But that's why they had two cameras. My thought was, why couldn't they just take that out electronically instead of have two cameras? And I think that's what Microsoft eventually did, although I haven't paid any attention to it. But that you should be able to just use an algorithm to take the infrared out. So when you take a regular picture, it doesn't look real squirrely. But one of the things they did. We're going to go to Don in Alexandria, Virginia. How you doing, Don?
Hey, Dave. Good to hear your voice again. I missed you yesterday.
Yep.
Have any damage at your place?
Absolutely none. In fact, the power was on until they purposefully turned it off. So I was one of those folks where they just decided that other places, they didn't want to go place to place and wonder whether the power is on. They just shut it all off in this county. And I always wonder, I always have a conspiracy theory that there wasn't enough damage. And the governor probably came in and said, hey, we got to pull the power. We got to do something. We can't just let these people off this easy. Or the next time that we do something, they'll just, I remember the last time, right?
I got you. Hey, Dave, yeah, I'm looking at a couple possible swing trades here, J&J and UPS.
Okay. Well, you have about the same volume, a little lighter down here on J&J on the bottoms. What are you looking at that makes you think that this is a swing trade? Are you in it already, by the way?
No, these are both entries I like to make. I just look, I see some power there, and I'm looking, at the daily chart, and looking at the calls and whatnot, and now it had a pullback today, a pretty good pullback.
I mean, to me, unless I see, for my stuff, the only way I'd put a trade on is if that 129 level got tested with like 3 million or 4 million shares. I mean, the volume came off a little on the September 5th, but not enough. So at best, you're hoping for a trading range of about $7 on a $130 stock. And to me, that's probably not enough risk reward. What was the other one you were looking at?
Yeah, UPS.
Well, you're getting into Christmas season. You're getting into everything they're doing in Apple, and this looks like it's going to go blow away. The December 12th high of last year, 118.78. Even with everything that Amazon is doing, it's hard for me to see that these guys don't have a great Christmas. So fundamentally, I would like the UPS trade a little better. This thing looks like it's almost kind of done with its ABC move here. Let me take a quick look at that. Okay. Yeah, a 1-to-1 ABC on this takes it to 119.17. So,
that's about where I was looking.
Yeah.
Get a couple bucks on it.
Again, I can't trade for a couple bucks.
Okay, I do.
Yeah, that's fine. I need to know that I can put one over the center field fence.
Okay.
And and that one, it's not a bad trade. You've got a pretty good high chance of this testing 119. This may just continue on though.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can say is that the fundamentals of this, even with what Amazon's doing to increase shipping for this Christmas, I think maybe you just have a nice ride all the way through the end of the year. Fundamentally on it, you'd have to see something really change. What I dislike is that at least the energy from this July 27th low up to this high today, the energy's been a little less than the May 18th to July 25th leg. So you got a little less, but could you have one last leg on light volume all the way up through Christmas? I think you could. It's just very tough to say every day when I drive around or look, there's a delivery van out, pushing Amazon stuff. And I think it's only, even though it's gotten kind of ubiquitous, I think it could even be bigger this year. So, and 40 planes for Amazon, let's take a quick look. Because my guess is this thing's probably going to trade hand in hand with the way Amazon trades. I think there's probably enough in the way of a correlation. Now, as Amazon's kind of come back a little, like I said, it's hard to say don't buy it. But if I was thinking of buying UPS, I'd probably wait for Amazon to come back down to 936.33. And if it continues to trade kind of with it, that may be the best part to get in on it. But probably not a bad time to buy UPS. If you get a pullback, I think it's going to be, if you sell it come January 25th or 24th or 20th or something into the hysteria for Amazon shipping, that's probably going to be the trade. You may even be able to take it into January, but I think you're probably going to have a big Amazon Christmas. With a big Amazon Christmas is going to be UPS and FedEx. In fact, let's take a look at FedEx real quick. It's FDX, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is there a reason you like FedEx or UPS over FedEx?
I really didn't even look at FedEx. I was just looking at UPS, and I saw some power movement there. And
I think it's all the same. Although
I'm sure.
Although peripherally, FedEx is the last in line. So as demand grows, FedEx actually gets a bigger bump into Christmas. Because UPS is a little cheaper. So they do have kind of the ability. I look at that one too. Both of those, I kind of, as a fundamental thing into Christmas with Amazon, even if Amazon just kind of stays around in the separate trading range, both of those look like good plays all the way through Christmas.
All right.
Thanks for the call.
Dave.
Bye.
Bye.
We'll be back in a minute.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
If you're looking to open your portfolio to a world of opportunity, consider the new market-safe emerging currency CD from Everbank. This 3-year U.S. dollar-denominated CD gives you exposure to 5 equally weighted currencies from Brazil, China, India, Indonesia, and Turkey at a time when experts see great potential for global growth. Even better, it features a 7.0 leverage factor, which means you could earn a potential market upside payment of 7 times the CD's performance at maturity with no cap if the currencies increase in value over the CD's term. And should the opposite occur, your principal is 100% protected. Keep in mind, returns are based on CD performance. There is no annual percentage yield or periodic rate of interest on this index CD. Don't miss out. The September 28th funding deadline will be here before you know it. So call 1-855-750-4051 or visit everbank.com/TFNN for the CD's term sheet and other important product details and disclosures. This advertisement is sponsored content. Everbank is a division of TIAA, FSB, member FDIC.
The TAS Profile Scanner Plus, developed by John Logan and his team, is a standalone piece of software that can change the way you trade. Let the TAS Profile Scanner work for you by scanning over 5,000 financial instruments such as stocks, ETFs, commodities, futures, and Forex. Right now, you can get a 30-day free trial to the TAS Profile Scanner Plus right at TFNN.com. And when you sign up, you gain instant access to John Logan's most recent webinar, How Price, Volume, and Time Make Market Profiles So Unique. This hour-long webinar with John Logan will walk you through the most powerful features of the scanner and how you can use it to become a more successful and profitable trader. You pay absolutely nothing for 30 days while you try out this software risk-free. For more information on the TAS Profile Scanner and to get your 30-day free trial today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
And it's not quite over yet, but we should, or we still are having Apple give its dog and pony show in the new UFO building that they spent $6 billion on, that apparently a lot of the people that work there don't like because it's unusable. What can you say? Apple kind of selling off a little bit. I think, what are we off? 0.5%, a little more. There was a lot of promise going into Apple, going into this event, and we didn't have a lot of leaks. And I think because we didn't have those leaks, a lot of people were thinking that they would come out with something revolutionary. Now, maybe they still will before the end of the day, but not a lot going on as far as I can tell that says, I've got to storm right out there and get one. I think a lot of people that have older phones may be ready to upgrade anyway, but there's no must-have feature that I've seen in either the watch or the phone so far that makes me think that's it. And they're getting pretty close to finishing, it looks like, but we'll keep an eye on it. Anyway, when we look at Apple, 160.54, and what was the high of day today? 163.96, so not huge, but what can you say? Somebody asked in the den before the presentation came out what I thought, and it was either going to be a little bit higher or a whole bunch lower. If they don't come out with something probably in the next 10, 15 minutes before the end of the day, I think you could see this back to 152. It's a lot of hyperbole, and I don't see a lot of there for technology junkies that say, I'm willing it. The one thing I also haven't seen is a lot of pricing on this new phone. Availability says a little earlier than we thought, so that's a little plus on this, but we'll see. Again, you can give me a call at 877-927-6648. When we, of course, go out here to the indexes, we're up 5.5 points on the S&P cash. So we don't have Don still on, do we? Okay, just want to make sure. I got to get used to all the different stuff here. A little different than what I do from the White House. Got a question from the den to look at Tesla, TSLA. As we said, what we were looking for, or what we think you would be looking for in Tesla to finally short this one, is 370. We hit 368.75 376. Still got a fairly decent short sell ratio in it, so I would much rather wait for this thing to actually break 370, maybe go as high as 380 and then close back below 370 again. I just use an abundance of caution. Again, huge short interest in a handful of these. And of course, what was it, last week or I think it was last week where we saw Restoration Hardware that had a 50% short interest rate. You can get a huge bounce out of these stocks, and I think it was more than 50% on Restoration Hardware. I didn't know enough about it. I always thought maybe this thing bounced for all the restoration that needed to go into those homes down in Houston, Texas. I know that there are a lot of old 19, 10, 20, and 30 homes down there. So maybe they need a lot of stuff for Restoration Hardware. But, you get the right move and even just a hint that things do well. That's what happens with 50% short interest. You've got, I think, around 30% on Tesla. So you've always got to look at this thing as a stick of dynamite that's got a little sweat on it. I don't know if they play enough Western TV shows anymore, but dynamite used to sweat, and that was nitroglycerin. All you had to have is even a small little impact to set it off, and that's it. As always, give me a call at 877-927-6648. Take a look at some other ones out here. Let's see what else. I think it's Broad, isn't it? Broadcom. What else do we want to look at? SWKS. We already looked at. Well, you're going to come up short on Skyworks Solution. You don't really have anything yet. If this would have been below the 3x3, I think I probably would have been thinking of shorting the NASDAQ. If this one was there with Apple, they can just come back and buy it tomorrow, even though they didn't do it. Okay, go back and look at a few other things. 160.87 is what I have for Apple's last tick. Question, is Micron a breakout? Certainly looks like it's running one more time. That's one of the reasons why I think that we've got a good chance that Intel is also going to follow this. It has kind of broken out here today, and you don't have a lot of strength in this one, so I wouldn't be chasing it. But if it could come back to a $32 on light volume, this may be a very nice setup. I think this is now getting ready to get out of the realm of old technology and move to the cross-point memory technology that's going to move them to the next level. Question about GNRC. I brought this up as the stock to buy anytime there's a hurricane. And we can see what happened with this one. These guys generally, they were running ads all weekend before the storm. These guys do fairly well. And they'll move down here into Florida, and they'll do very well. But what you probably want is this thing to get back down to about 40 bucks. And at that point, you can buy it. But if you look at the way that this company did and how much business it did after the hurricanes in 2004 and 5 and other ones, even the one in New York, it ran very well. You get a kind of a pullback, and I'd say probably 40 bucks might be what you get in an on light volume. And then they're going to get into selling those $5,000 to $10,000 automatic, not even partial home generation systems, but literally the power goes out and 10 seconds later everything's running. Those are the ones to do, because 5-10 grand, they can make money fairly quickly selling those things and installing them. Yeah, maybe 40, 50, somewhere in there. So if you're looking at buying this thing, is it all over? The answer is no. Generally, this is just the start. It gives them, they'll be been knocking on door to door and robo-calling everybody down here in Florida. And probably not a bad business to be in, at least for the next year or so, till people get over this and they move on to something else. But anybody out without power for a day would spend about anything. We're just not those kind of people anymore, are we? Not the rough and tumble Americans. Be back in a minute.
Tom O'Brien has just announced that he'll be coming to Boston September 30th for a free workshop, The Art of Timing the Trade. Join Tom O'Brien Saturday morning, September 30th at the Boston Marriott in Burlington, Massachusetts, as he breaks down his trading methodology and provides you with the tools to become a more successful and profitable trader. Everyone that attends in person will receive a free signed copy of Tom's best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System. Daryl Martin from Apex Investing Institute will also be presenting for 90 minutes at this free event.
Hi folks, this is Tom O'Brien. Join me in Boston on September 30th as I return to my hometown for a workshop about the art of timing the trade. I look forward to seeing all the tigers and tigresses for this special free event.
All action starts early at 7:30 a.m. with a continental breakfast and wraps up at about 1 p.m. Topics that Tom will be covering during his presentation include quality volume, cause and effect, ABC structures, swing points, and much, much more. For all the information on this free Boston event taking place Saturday, September 30th, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of The Trader's Edge, heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
Hi folks, this is Tom O'Brien. Come join me next hour as we bisect and dissect these markets, right here on TFNN. Wow!
And Apple's selling off 160 even. I think there just wasn't enough revolutionary stuff. It's all fairly evolutionary. They did get under $1,000 for the starter phone. I think that's fairly important. The question I got is, would I short it? And the answer is no. The reason is no matter what they said today, the PR in Apple is going to be beating the drum tomorrow. There'll be 20 people on CNBC saying that you might as well just go out and kill yourself if you don't buy Apple tomorrow. You've got to buy Apple. It happens every single time. They have the best PR drum-beating system together. That's why I would look at Skyworks Solutions, some of these other ones, over the next couple of days to actually see how the suppliers to Apple are trading and not Apple itself. Can they get this thing to go for a day or two or even 3 or even a week sometimes on just that kind of bully pulpit that the big names have on CNBC to tell everybody why, that they must buy an iPhone? and everybody's going to buy an iPhone. You're nobody if you don't buy an iPhone. It is some of the best propaganda that you can actually get. So I wouldn't get too excited about this right off. If this thing's going to actually fade, it's probably going to fade over the next couple of weeks. So again, better bets, I think, in the suppliers on Apple if you're thinking the market's going to roll over. But again, they'll be pushing this thing for the next few days. Everybody will be telling everybody why it turns lead into gold. When these things and Apple do really fail, it's not instantaneous. They may run this up to 164 again in the next couple of days. I would just be, like I said, either short the suppliers or hold your breath before you click that mouse button on shorting Apple. I think you got another couple of days out here where you can still get it short if you want to get the $10 down. But we'll see how it trades the next day or two. I like the suppliers better than Apple if you want to play them. We will see you here tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time. So when you can, not when you have to.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.